All right, gangy. So listen, there's this really dumb move when you accidentally set the joint for the morning instead of for the morning. Hey, Sammy, see what I did? Yes, I did accidentally set it for PM instead of AM, but I've been busy this week. This week is kicking all of my butt. But you know what? Tomorrow's the first day for a new week, and there's that. And I'm leaving. I'm going to Seattle. So there's that. It's going to be a good one. Uh, yeah, so we're going to Q&A day, of course. If you got any questions, throw them in the chat. We'll get it all kicked off. I am going to sort of kick off and refine something that I was playing around with last night. I don't know why. Even Sammy and I were talking about this yesterday. Why it took so long to come up with this idea, but I had a crazy idea yesterday, and I'm like, yo, I should have made this a long time ago. And then now I've been thinking about it even more. After I get the base analog version figured out, I'm going to see if there's a way to code this sucker so that you could actually like have an app that would let you drag and drop things and have it generate the profile. I don't know if that's possible, but if it's possible, I want to know if it's possible. That didn't make no sense what I just said, but it made sense to me. So, yeah, there's that. Um, so in a nutshell, well, Kevin's the only one who didn't see what I did yesterday. Hi, Kevin. Kevin, I had this crazy brain fart idea, and it was a combination of trying to help Marianne test something, and then building some layouts for this video that I have to create. Okay, and so what I came up with in my brain is that for the most part, whenever we're doing some sort of stream, we're using in general kind of sort of the same basic layouts. Not exactly the same, but kind of sort of the same basic layouts. So here's an example. If I go to this scene over here, right, you'll see take the active speaker set up right here, and then you have a zoom. You know, we got zoom going. I could put an active speaker over there. And then on the vertical side, you know, which you ain't watching right now, I just have a camera. I don't really put too much else because on the vertical side, it gets a little truncated, it gets a little tight. So you eliminate the other thing. And then what you would do, more than likely, if your guest is talking, you just put the the zoom switcher camera on that side so that it switches to the correct guest, right? And there's many thousands of ways to set up that angle where you have yourself and the guest on there, but you know, for the most part, they're relatively the same. So I had this idea, and it has to do, thank you, Sammy. It has to do with the fact that people always say, oh, they wish we had some sort of templating system or whatever. And I've always kind of kicked and screamed against the templating system. I don't know whether it's coming or not. Every time it comes up in a meeting, I feverishly block it. I block it with every ounce of my soul. And I tell you why. You know how when someone is using Yardbird, you know instantly that they're using Yardbird because they all look the same. If someone is using Restream, you know that they're using Restream because they all look the same. And even if somebody records their sessions with Zoom and the person is using Zoom, you can tell because it kind of all looks the same. And here, I'll see if I can pull this off. This may or may not work. If I were to do this in Zoom, right? And then I'll see if I can snatch out my Zoom camera by spotlighting myself, and then I'll share that screen, and you'll see what I'm talking about, right? If I see, can I spotlight this? There's a Stream Deck shortcut to spotlight this, but I haven't done so yet. Okay, and then now if I were to go to screen share, la 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 la, Mouse, stop losing yourself. Sorry. I'm using this app that doesn't allow me to change the size of my mouse. And because I've done that, I can never get to where my mouse needs to be. All right, so now instead of primary browser, I'm just going to select on Zoom and hope I call this the right window. Nope, I don't want to start AI Companion. There. Well, you can't see my camera right now because that camera is being used for ECAMM. But normally, if somebody comes in looking like this, you kind of know that they're using Zoom, right? It's just a dead giveaway, right? And if we put templates in the app, it's just going to be terrible. Like everybody's going to know. And it's not that you're trying to hide it or anything. It's just that it gets corny because the people won't take the time to learn how to make the show their own. And therefore, they will. Oh my God, I forgot to turn this mess off. They won't take the time to make the show look like their own. And therefore, all the shows will look the same. And that, I don't know, my personal opinion is it makes the app sort of generic. Whereas with ours, you can style it all myriad sorts of ways, the way that you like to style it. You can do so much things, and it's there. Well, that leads to the second part of this battle, is that if you're brand new and you've been told your whole life that technology is hard, which is wrong. Technology is not hard. The whole point of technology is to make it easy. Our generation, all the way down to Kevin and Lisa, who are the generation right underneath us, they were born and raised to say technology is hard. And only nerds know how to do it. You know, only people with, glasses, tape, and no friends and play Dungeons and Dragons, they're the only ones that know how to do it. First of all, Dungeons and Dragons is off the hook. Jerks. But, we were told forever that, you had to have some kind of special skill or lack of friends in order to be good at tech, which is completely wrong. It's 100% wrong. Tech is easy. Like the whole point of it is to make things easy to do. And unfortunately, we're still battling a generation. And here's the funny part about battling that generation. It often follows itself down the family tree. And I'll tell you what I mean by this. If I go through my nieces and nephews, my oldest nieces and nephews, all of them are complete tech neophytes. Not a single one of them know how to use tech. Why? Because my older sisters still don't touch tech. So even though those nieces and nephews are in their 30s and pushing 40s now, they still don't know how to use tech because their parents never touched it. They're the dangerous portions of the family, the parents and the kids, because I have to tell them everything like update your iPhone because right now we're at war. So you know what they're going to do? They're going to attack people's phones. They're going to infiltrate your phones and put crap on your phones that gets your information more. Like now your phones have to be more secure than ever before because, people are out here, right? And they're like, oh, well, I still got an iPhone 12. Why? 6 years old, bro. Like 6 years old. You ain't that poor. Like we grew up poor, but none of us is poor right now. Why are you still rocking an iPhone 12? That is a vulnerability, not just to you, but to everyone in the family, because all of our information is shared upon these phones. Right? And they're like, oh, I never do the updates because I'm afraid I'm going to lose something. That's not how it works. You're going to lose something because you don't update it. But you know what I mean? So those people are liabilities, right? Or they got really old computers with no antivirus programs, or they use Windows or Android, like they're the most susceptible kinfolks out there, and they just don't do their updates, right? Those people are vulnerable. And so in that vein, because we've done that, people, when they get to their sort of, you want to get involved in this, you get this app situation, you want the app to do absolutely everything for you, which I get and I understand. But if it does that, then now you have zero control. You have none whatsoever. As a matter of fact, that's the complaint for half the Apple stuff, is because they lock the security down so tight, people don't have control. And well, that's a different situation, but it definitely is why, you know, people will stick to using Windows or Android, because they're afraid that they're going to lose control. Control that they don't know how to use, by the way, but they've just been told their whole life by somebody else. You know, say you have a person like me who lives in Terminal. I do everything in Terminal, right? It's funny because Luis had asked me about his app, Momentum. He says, what do you think about the app? And I'm like, gangster, I'm not going to use it. We're friends, and I'm not going to use your app. And he never even asked me why, because Luis knows I do everything in Terminal. But Luis also knows there's people who will never even touch Terminal because it scares their wee-wee back in. Like they wouldn't even go near it, right? So the thought of opening Terminal and typing some archaic commands will absolutely freak some people out, right? So you guys go, I want to see a hard drive that's missing on my machine. I plugged it in, but it's not mounting. I open up Terminal, I write disk util space list, and I get a list, and I can see that dev6 is there. I know that it's there, it's not mounted. And I go ds util mount dev/6, and then boom, it comes up. Hey, I'm good. Y'all go through, you know, utilities and then open this utility file, and it doesn't show up. Why it doesn't show up? Well, because it's not mounted, and you don't even see the ghost. So you don't know how to do the rescan to make the, you know what I'm saying? So Terminal is just better, right? Everything you do on this whole entire computer can basically work in Terminal. It's just that we put pictures on it to make it easier, right? So I just grew up in Linux and then made my way to Mac OS. So I live in Terminal. I know how to do everything in Terminal. Not that big a deal, right? So there you go. If you want to check out Luis's app, go to Momentum. That's too many M's, dog. Momentum.mrcamerajunkie.com. Holy crap, Luis, that's a lot of M's. It make my caffeine, my lack of caffeine disappear. There you go. Anyway, so yes, you could do that. And I totally missed the wrong key. Let me do that again. Yeah, but anyway, back to the same thing. This is why I'm like, for what we do in ECAMM, I kind of hope we never smell templates. I know it's coming, and I've been fighting it for many, many years, but I hope, I personally, me, Doc, I hope I never see it. And everybody that I work with knows I don't want to see it because it's just going to be one of those things where everybody's stuff looks exactly the same. And yeah, I don't know. I think it just loses individuality right now, right? It's like when, okay, I got a perfect example. When CapCut came up with those templates at the bottom of CapCut, TikTok became terrible. Like raw dog terrible. Let me turn down the volume. And then when CapCut got all of these guys, TikTok became absolutely terrible because every other video on TikTok looks exactly like one of these. Now, have I made some of them? Absolutely. But do I want to keep making them? Nah. Because they all look, and people don't even change the sound. They'll use the template, use the exact same sound. So on any given day, you can find 600 reels with the same sound and the same cuts. And the only thing that has changed is the base level picture. And I'm like, no. And you know what? Not to be that person, but let me be that person. If you look in their bio, it all says creator. Do that count? Those of us who do this the hard way, does that count? I'm not going to tell you my answer. You could probably guess because I want to be that person. But does that count? If you go to a person's profile and their entire profile is nothing but those TikTok reels made with CapCut templates, does that count as creator? Do I use a motion VFX plugin? All day, every day. Premium VFX plugin? Yep. I probably got somewhere in the neighborhood of about $4,000 worth of plugins in my Final Cut. I use them all the time. They just make editing easier. I don't know if that takes away from Creator or not, but it's just a little something, something. Just a little sample, small example, how I could, sorry, I was going to do Cypress Hill. You can't say that in YouTube because you'll get in trouble. Anyway, so point being, I was thinking of a way to take the baseline layouts that we use inside of ECAMM and make them so that whenever you go to start a new design, you can start from a blank, but it's not really a template. So it took me a minute to process how we're going to do this, and I did it live yesterday, messing around with Sammy. Sammy says yes. Okay, I'm going to take that, nephew. I'm going to take that into consideration. Sammy says yes, that counts. Okay, so I'll show you guys what I made right now. It's not anywhere near cute, but I'm going to make it cute. And anyway, after I finish making it cute, I think I'm going to attempt to maybe code this. I got a lot of stuff going on the next 2 months. I'll be traveling a lot, so I'll have time hanging out in airports. Where did it go? Where did it go? Keynote. Why you don't open what I opened yesterday? Okay, here we go. So Sammy says, I get what you saying, G. So what you saying, G? Dun, 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 dun. All right. Let's go to this particular mode. There's Mr. Camera Junkie's sitey site. You can go and check it out, and you'll see there it is. You can get momentum, and you can see what it does. CPU monitoring, memory monitoring, disk storage analysis, disk cleanup, app installer, security scanner, and free updates. And there you go. So you can go and check this out. Gangster. Gangster. That's pretty smart, actually, to be honest with you. It's pretty smart. Let me go here, and I'll go to Keynote. So this is what I set up in Keynote. And you don't have to wait for me to finish. You can probably do this yourself. Like, what I'm going to show you is not groundbreaking. It's just like Sammy said yesterday when we were doing this. Sammy says, I can't believe you ain't did this before. And I'm like, you know what? You're probably right. I turned off Moom because I wanted to get a handle of what was causing my screen to jump around, and it's not Moom. So let me redo this. Ooh, not that window, dude. This window. There we go. That's a little better. So this is what I came up with, and I realize now one thing I should probably do just to make this easier is do dark gray instead of black. It's a little easier to see, but I'll figure that out. Let me see if I can do all of these at once. Bingo, bango. Let's go dark gray. And then there, that fixes it. Okay, so, this is that scene where you just have a single camera with the big old thing. And then as I was messing with this box and looking at it, I think I need to do corner radius 25. It's more common to what everything is. But anyway, so there it is. It's just a box. It's in the center. You time it out. I would probably change this to be something a little bit more normal, like 1800. Let me see if I put on constrained proportions. Does that work? Tab it over. 1800 by 987. Not a good number. So you always got to mess with these until you find one that kind of has even numbers. That's just the way that the world works. And actually, I'll delete that. Let's do something even more smart. Let's do, what's the word I'm looking for? 720. Bingo. Let me undo it this way. I did that backwards. 1280 tab 720. All right. Then lock constrained proportions. And then, listen. Why you gotta mess with me? 1280. Bingo. Okay. Now we're gonna leave that alone. Don't touch anything. Now hit constrain proportions. And then now we'll go in here and type 1800. There, that's better. So that's about right. Pop that in the center, and we call that a thing. And then we go to the other one here. We got square boxes, right? And then we go to the other one here. We got more square boxes, right? 420, 420, whatever. And then go this way. And then, 420 by 420. And you can have the little place to throw a logo. If you need to do a square logo, you just make that smaller. But, you got that. That's a very common layout. Also a common layout, a host and a screen share. Don't move the box, dog. Right? And then you have same thing, 2 people and a screen share with a logo. You have 2 people with the long box, which I stole from Marianne, but I just realized that these might not be 16 by 9. So let me fix this. Let me do, if you're doing 1280, 1280, tab, 720, tab. Okay, now do constrain proportions. And then make it 960. Because that is also a size, right? 960 by 540. Hold the option key, drag it across. 960 is not going to fit because your math doesn't work, Doc. You can't, 960 and 960 is exactly 1920. So you can't use 960. Let's go a little bit smaller. Let's do 900. No, would 900 work? 900 by 506. I don't like it when this number is messed up. Let's do this number by, what happens if I put 600? What's that come out to? That's too big. Let's do 500. Okay, kind of close enough. 500 and 500. I'm sorry. 900, 900 is 1800. We got 1920. Yeah, that'll work. They give you small margin pixels on the side. And so we line this baby up. And let's put it about, you try to guess even space. It's not going to be even right away, but we'll make it even towards the end. Right? Now I can use a on-screen ruler to figure this out, but I'm going to do it this way and then hit that and then find the center. And then I'll move this over there. That's about right. That's guesstimate. You could also cheat and then, don't do that. Oh, I forgot they have new layout toys inside of Keynote. Go away. Close this window. One way to cheat would be to make yourself a little wee box. Change the color of said little wee box. And then figure out what your spacing is. I would use a grid more than likely to make this easier, but I didn't add a grid yet. So that's way off by a long shot. So we take this in by a third, and we're going to call it that, and then move this in. And then we're going to call it this. I really don't like that Keynote doesn't bite the edges. That's close enough. That's close enough for government work. It's not exactly on point, but it's close enough. So now if I select this one and then find the sender, it was only off by a pixel. We'll call it a day. All right, so there's another layout, right? And then you just save that, come down to the bottom, similar type of situation. So the way you would actually use these is you could either do 2 things. You can play the presentation, which puts you 1920 by 1080 inside of ECAMM. And then you could go to the slide that you care about. Let's say we want to build, Marianne's setup. We just pop the slide in, go to ECAMM, grab your camera, throw it on there, switch the box into custom. Ba-da-da! Get yourself lined up. You can use your little curse. I'm nudging with a cursor. Boom, boom, boom. And then grab the corner and stretchy stretch, because ECAMM right now doesn't have pixel typing. One day we'll get it. right? So now I got to do is move this guy over. I could have copied it that way, but if I copied that way, the order stack would be out of order. So that's why I didn't copy first. I know somebody was going to ask me, why didn't you just option copy? That's the reason why. Wait. And then now we're set. Now we're cooking with Pam. So I can then, if I go to my, regular blank setup, look, the layout is already made. Right? So anybody that wants to come through and make certain layouts, they would just have to, get in here, gangster, get your little keynote action going and do your layouts. And then, although you guys can't see right now, so I'll put you on, let me go to the old vertical joint, and then we'll eliminate this camera. We'll take this camera and say duplicate to the vertical canvas, and then give it a little scrub down. I would probably never do vertical this way, but just in case you wanted to, though, right? Because these are going to be really small boxes, and this one's going to be in the way of some UI, but if you wanted to know how you could do it, you can still do it, right? So then I would just line it up like such, use my little arrow keys and nudge over, and again, I wouldn't do this layout on vertical, but, there it is. I haven't started building any vertical ones. So this is what I've been working on, making sort of a scene library using Keynote. And we came up with, like yesterday, just out in the internet, right? You're looking at something that you see and you like it. You take a screenshot, you open it up in Keynote, and then you just go to town fixing it. You know what I mean? Ooh. Why you got to touch stuff, dude? Leave things alone. Actually, I will do it that way. I'll line it out like that. Yeah. So, yeah, super simple thing. Wow. Why you fall down the 3D hole? Anyway, so that was my thought process, because I know people need a baseline and need somewhere to start, but I swear to goodness, I hope we don't end up with templates. And of course, you can fancify things. Like if I come back over here and I blank this, you can fancify things by changing the box rounds to make, a couple of them square or none of them rounded. I think you can get in here and fancify things up however you want to, change borders, whatever. But, it's a good baseline start for people who you have like zero design habits whatsoever, but they want to make something. You want to be starting something, got to be starting something. Sorry. Boom. Right? I don't know why Paul decided to step in the liquid, but you did it now, P. Diddley. You did it now. You are stuck. You're stuck like Chuck. It is such a rabbit hole. Listen, if you go into Maker World and all you look at in Maker World is the cat section, you will be busy for weeks on end. You will be busy for weeks on end with nothing to do but scope out the cat section. It's Wait, what? Why would you do that? Here, let me do this. Press the button, Paul. There you go.
That button.
That button. Look, he got a little window up where you can see what are you printing?
A spool.
A spool to put filament
on? Yeah, I had a color that I wanted that was not available it was only available as a refill, so I need to print a spool.
Okay, the first thing you learn about 3D printing is don't listen to Doc and listen to the asshole Luis and use fake spools. Don't be like me and buy all the 3D bamboo spools. However, what's dope is right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8 of these, so I don't have to print any spools. But yeah, Don't listen to me. I was like, hey, it's not worth saving a little bit just to get the ones, but it's not if I could buy bamboo spools at the bamboo spool price without paying the shipping, I probably would still just stick to bamboo because I'm that type of person, right? When they say put in, what was it called? Oh my God, my brain just went done. When it says put in Castrol GTX, I'm not buying Walmart oil for my car. It just ain't doing it, right? If they say use STP or Valvoline, yeah. Costco oil, never happened. Not in any car that I drive, right? Walmart oil, nope. Target brand, good to great, 10W30, nope. Is it made in the same factory? Yep. Am I fixing to do it? Nope. Right? Is there some jeans that aren't Wrangler or Levi or designer? Am I wearing them? Nope. Not doing it. Just not in my wheelhouse. It's just I was that person because when I grew up, my mom then was always buying the AMP milk or the Safeway brand milk. And my brain was like, this don't taste like Lucerne. It was probably the same. When you grow up on ghetto Cheerios, you don't want to. When you grow up on ghetto Cheerios, when you get Cheerios money, you buy Cheerios. That's what I'm saying? So if you have an addictive personality and adult money, life is different. Life is different. Derek just dropped an app called DualShock Record for iPhone that shoots horizontal and vertical at the same time. Yeah, Black Magic Camera does that. Black Magic Camera already does that. So I don't understand. Let me look it up. Matthew. I've been using Black Magic Camera to do that for quite a while. Let me look it up. Copy. Brain cells. Brain cells. That's funny. The internet says there's no app called that yet. So let me search the App Store. App Store. One thing that's really cool is that you can finally search iPhone apps in the App Store on your computer. Well, I don't know about finally. It's been a minute, but I always thought that was pain in the butt when you couldn't do that. Yeah, it turns out that don't work either. What are you doing? Nope. Not shows up in the iPhone thing. I'll go look for this video. I'll see if I can find it. But yeah, I've been using Blackmagic Camera app to do that for quite a minute. Yo, there you go, Rich. Oh my God. Bro, the minute I moved out the house, the first thing I did was got rid of all of the Tough Skins on Montgomery Ward. I forgot the Montgomery Ward brand, but Tough Skins was the Sears brand jeans. And I'm going to just guess, Rich, you like me, we had to get the Husky versions. Tough Skin Huskies. Bro, who came up with that name? Oh, that boy, he Husky. He ain't Husky. He just big bone. It was super funny, bro. I hate it. I absolutely hated it. And one thing that happens when you're a poor black child is my hips and my thighs were huge because of track and football, but my waist was still small. So like all pants look stupid on me anyway. So I had to get the Husky version, and then my grandma would cut the top and make it like a little V and then close it up. I think the word is called darting. I don't remember, but I just remember hearing her say stuff like that. Like she would have to sew these two lines like a V and then cut it and then close it and then sew it back together and then cut the V out. something like that. But anyway, it makes the waist part skinnier, but the hips is wide. So when you have that thick bottom and the rest of your body is normal size and you got big ass head, yeah, it was, oh my God, it was crazy. Them husky with the boom. There it is, Luis. Tostios, the cereal in the bag. Correct. As soon as I got opportunity to get away from that, when I went to the military and the first time I got a check, the first thing I did was go to the store and bought regular stuff. And it's so bad, it was such an adverse reaction to growing up poor, I didn't even want to go to the commissary. I wanted to go to the regular kinfolk store and buy some regular stuff. She said, I work for Colgate-Palmolive, and yes, we sold our toothpaste under generic brands. I still buy the brand name to this day. Yes, 100%. I don't know why. It's a reaction to just feeling like you ain't ghetto no more. I know that sounds hella stupid, and Rich is busting out all the good ones. When as soon as I left the house, I invested tons of money in Calvin Klein's, Jordache, and Sasson, because that was the move back in the early 80s. You had your Sasson jeans, you had your Calvin Klein jeans, and you had your Jordache. And I had a lot of Jordache, just did it, and then got the Jordache look. You want to know better? I don't even know if that brand still exists today. And then what got me buying Calvin Klein's, guess who it is? Guess who got me buying Calvin Klein jeans? Because she said, hey, you're going to have me a man that's wearing Calvins. And I listened to her and her thick-ass eyebrows. Let's see all my old people in the chat. Who made the Calvin Klein commercials? Thinking about the release of app, do you think I should self-host it or put it in a Mac Store? Mac Store is the answer. Self-hosting is insane. Let me tell you why, Sammy. So you're going to self-host this app because, okay, this is the hilarity of what I'm going to just call it what it is. The hilarity of the victim mindset of, oh my God, Apple's going to charge me 30%. Okay, so let's just say you have a $100 app. And if you sell it in the App Store, it's going to be a $70 app for you and a $30 app for Apple. Point blank. Now, you're going to self-host this $100 app. You're going to get $100 minus 3% for the credit card fee. So you're going to get $97 plus another 2% for the processing fee from the credit card company or Stripe or whoever hosts it. So now you're going to get $95. If you add your hosting costs, let's just make it an even $94, right? So you're going to make $94 a sale. Paul, what are you doing underneath the table that's making it shake like that? I'm going to tell you what it looked like on camera. Sorry. What are you doing?
My print failed, and so I'm having to scrape all these little circles off, and they're very magnetic, so to speak.
Yeah, they stick to your hands. What do you mean the print failed? Oh, you mean the holes filled in?
No, it lifted off, so it didn't attach well, so I know what I need to do. But
yeah, you got to add a brim.
Yeah.
Or one thing that's important, which you'll find out, is change the temperature on the first layer and print slower on layer 1. And then after that layer is down, you can go back up to crazy speed. Luis will explain it to you in the text message. Anyway, Sammy, so there you go. Your man's Rich is on it, and then Kathy is on it. There you go. Yeah, Jordache jeans with the BKs. The BKs, bro. BKs all day. British Knights. But super funny. I won't even explain to you why I wore BKs, but yeah, you probably know. If you know what BK all day is, then you know what it is. I had blue BKs. Let's put it that way. Anyway, so Sammy, you're gonna have a setup. Let's say you're making $94 a sale on a $100 app, self-hosted. You're only going to get $70 a sale on the app on the App Store. Let me do a current fact check, but let's just say, first of all, Sammy, is it a Mac app or is it a computer app? I'm sorry, a Mac app or a phone app? Mm. Let's do a quick fact check. What the current number is, I know it's pretty high. Oh my God. Jesus criminy. Yo, Retro said, I wore BKs because my mom would not buy me shell toes. Bro, another thing, it's so funny because we probably in the same camp. Another thing I bought as soon as I got to the military and I got my first check, I bought shell toe Adidas. 100%. I bought black and white shell toe Adidas. 100%. 100%. Because like you, I got her off the Maypops. Like, we're not doing Maypops. I'm just not wearing those. But she wouldn't buy me shell toes, so I got BKs and kangaroos. All right, let me see. Let me see. I'm gonna pull this up and let's see how many. I'm gonna just do in processor. I'm just gonna pull a random guess number based off of sales, and let's see what we're getting at. Sorry, not M1. Okay, Sammy. So you're looking at somewhere. You're looking at somewhere in ordinance of anywhere from 1.2 to 1.8 billion max in circulation with credit cards attached to the App Store. Billion with a B. And the problem when people throw that terminology around, people cannot wrap their head around the number billion. It's one of those weird things where you hear the number all the time, but you don't have a visual reference of what that looks like. But when you consider an average of about 251 million machines shipped a year, and the average machine lasting about 5 years, that puts you around 1.5 billion machines fluctuating. And you got people like me that own 8 machines. So, self-host your app. It's your job to go find even 100,000 of those people. But you put your app in the App Store, and you automatically are in the mall that have, let's just cut it to 500 million. Say all the rest of it is bullshit. You have 500 million people walking around the mall. All over the concept of, I'm gonna make an extra $20. People who ride that horse, they didn't study math very well. I'm just saying. They did not study math very well. And I'm gonna tell you how Apple knows this. I'm gonna tell you how Apple knows this more than anybody. Okay? Sammy, you ain't old enough to know this because you're 21. But all of us OG Mac users, people like Rich and I, used to carry a Mac in a backpack. There was no Apple Store. You either got it from a Fry's, Micro Center, Circuit City back in the day. Before Circuit City, it was called Computer something, I forget. Then there was CompUSA. Computer City, Circuit City, Fry's, Micro Center, things of that nature. Okay, so when we wanted something, we went to a Mac catalog, OWC, MacSales.com, Mac Warehouse, and we ordered things from the catalog and they came in. There was no store. And Apple struggled for years to get out the number of sales even close to what PCs was doing, almost to the point where they went out of business. And then Ron Johnson came in and said, we need to build Apple stores. And we need to put the Apple stores in the mall. And somebody at corporate at the time, not Steve Jobs yet, said, oh, well, that's expensive. And then the malls are going to take 30% of our sales. And Ron Johnson said, because Ron Johnson came from JCPenney/Target, Ron Johnson said, the JCPenney's that stand alone never even remotely sell as much as the JCPenney's that anchor a General Growth Properties mall. And when JCPenney's pulled out of General Growth Properties because they went out of business, because Ron went to Target, guess what got stuck in all the malls? So, Luis, when we're in Boston and we drive to Salem and we go to the mall that has the Target in it, that mall is the anchor. That Target is the anchor of the mall. That Target space probably used to be a JCPenney's, and the person that left JCPenney's before they went out of business was Ron Johnson, and he went to Target, and the Target took over all of those spots. And Target blew the F up. And then right after that, Ron Johnson went to Apple. And you know what ended up in all the General Growth Properties malls? Apple stores. And in 2005, towards the end, when the Apple stores start to hit the malls, Apple went from swinging at Mike Tyson, hoping to land a punch, to being Mike Tyson. So if the company that had enough common sense to give up 30% of their profit to go into the mall, and now is the anchor for many, many malls around the country, and there are tons of Apple stores at this point, you should understand that they know what they're doing. It's just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. And currently, right now, they're over 530 Apple stores. That's crazy. I worked at Apple Store 193 here in Honolulu, and then later 210, and then later to, I think it's 264. But that number has doubled. There's over 530 Apple stores at this point. And again, you definitely should go into the App Store. And all of the people on the internet could be like, oh, no, Apple take 30%. Those people ain't making apps. They're just reading shit on the internet and repeating it. It's kind of crazy. I'm amazed at how much crap people yell with no understanding of economics in any way whatsoever. Somebody said this is expensive, so it's expensive. The only thing that is truly expensive, missed opportunities. That's it. Missed opportunities cost way more than opportunity costs. There you go. I want to know what Paul is printing now. Are you going to try to reprint it? But honestly, I would go and figure out how to do. Sorry, retro philosophy got me. Which Mike Tyson? The one before the biting. The one before the biting. I seriously, Paul, I would look up or take. First of all, what brand Philly are you trying to print this with?
This right now is PEG from Bamboo. The PEG Basic, whatever they call it.
PETG. Okay.
Yeah. PETG.
I don't know if I would even print my filament reels with PETG. That's overkill. Do you have regular PLA? Yeah. PETG in the first of all is harder to print, but to make a spool reel, it's probably way overkill for that. The other thing I would look at is, and I can send it to you if you want, Polymaker has an amazing filament reel print that's made for when you buy Polymaker refills, but it's a spool that was written by people that make spools. So it's better than the generic one that Dave put up on the internet, right? So I would print the Polymaker one. It's probably in the store. If not, I can give you the link. It's on the box right here. And it won't use as much filament because a lot of the ones that you see where you just pull it from Maker World, they use a lot of filament because they just design it because they saw somebody else design it. So it's similar to the CapCut thing we was talking about in the beginning. They seen Mr. Camera Junkie put up a reel and he got, listen carefully, he got 2,000 downloads and they go, well, if I put up a reel, I get 2,000 downloads. So they download his reel and they move the logo to the other side and they repost it as theirs. And they get $2,000 because they just want to be popular. It's not that they're good. So if I'm going to print a reel, I would actually take one out of like Polymaker. And you could probably just search for Polymaker spool, print your own spool. And then download that profile and run that. And then when you set up the e-filament, when you set up the filament inside of Bamboo, just print it with a standard PLA, because the one advantage to printing it with a standard PLA first is making sure that you like it. It's a spool that works for you. Everything goes, and it's going to be probably $2.70 because I'm going to assume it's going to pull about 130 grams of filament. And then if you're sure that works, and then you're like, okay, I like this, I want to make it tougher, tighter, then you upgrade to PETG. You should almost never print first-time prints in PETG because they're going to fail. So you save them. Those are engineering. It's not technically, but it's kind of an engineering filament. So you save it for the tougher, like I'm ready to make this tough. And the spool don't need to be tough. It's just sitting there.
The only thing with what I'm putting on this, I may need to be dried, so that was the only reason I did it PTEG.
What are you going to put on
it? TPU.
TPU is nasty.
I
got a whole spool of TPU. I would just send it to San Francisco. I quit. I ain't playing with that shit. It's nasty. Well, actually, you have a box container, so it's a little better. If you're going to print TPU, I'm going to say something psycho.
It's a small piece.
Huh?
It's a small piece.
What's a small piece?
It's just a small gasket to run around the top of the unit. So it's not that, what I'm printing is not that big.
I got it. I was going to say, if you're going to print TPU, I would probably put on an engineered spool because TPU does need to be heated. Did your Bamboo come with any Bamboo stuff that's on spools?
Yes.
Yeah, just leave it up there with no gasket until that spool runs out and then put the TPU on that spool. Like literally, because the PETG, when it's working, is gorgeous. When it doesn't, it's stringy as all hell.
I printed a whole bunch of stuff already with PEG, and it had no problem until this thing.
Hey, I printed this in PETG, and it's good. It's solid. It's transparent. I like it. But you can see, this is one of my first prints, and it came out nasty. But it does stand to the test of time. But yeah, TPU is dope. You can make shoes and all kind of shit. And I'm in the camp of ain't nobody got time for that. Once I get my sealed cabinet unit, maybe I'll go back and start messing with it. All right, let's see what Haven is saying. Let's see. What's up? V gets up, Hama. Good to see you here. Sammy said, thank you. You're making me think. People I want to buy apps are already using Final Cut or Mac Creative apps, so that's the number. 100%. That's the other situation. Funny you're talking about printing. I'm printing lollipop holders for this booth I designed. I need more filament colors. This is it. Listen, before you got here, first of all, how you doing, T? Long time no see. I told everybody the worst problem in the world right now is to have an addictive personality, ADHD, and adult money, and a 3D printer. Addictive personality, adult money, and the 3D printer is a terrible, terrible, terrible drug. I spent more money on 3D printing in the last year than I spent an entire college on booger sugar. uh, the struggle I had is, oh God, ASA is also super, super hard. ASA is super, super hard. Luis, why you clowning, bro? Why you clowning? Sandpaper and a spray paint can cover lots of ills. I tell you what's going to happen, you guys. You guys don't know about this, but by the time I get back in May, there's going to be a new 3D printing live stream with me, Paul, and Luis, the three Asketeers. And then y'all just going to have to come and hang out with us on our new 3D printing show. I don't know what the name is yet. We don't have no logo yet. But there was a old, Rich might remember this. Let me see if I can remember the exact name. Hold on.
Layers and an old fart.
See if I can find the. Okay, this is not gonna work. But there was a record, a house music record back in the day. This is super funny. I gotta find this. The actual record. And YouTube, do not play this out loud. But I want to just get the record cover, and I'm gonna put it on the screen. So this is gonna be the name of our show. But we're gonna need some more people. All right, hold on. I don't know if Rich, if you remember this. This is old, bro. This is from the 80s. And the song was called Do It Properly. It's from two Puerto Ricans, a black man and a Dominican. So I could cover one of the Puerto Ricans and the black man. I don't know where we're going to get a Dominican from. Paul, you're going to have to be it. But it was basically Civilis and Cole, which later became CNC Music Factory. But when they originally came out, that was the name of the album. Really hilarious. Really hilarious. You need a 3D printed lanai. Yo, my printer ain't that big, sis. It's not that big. Hey, Louise, we're going to have to buy Anna a 3D printer so she can join the stream. Oh my God. It's too funny. I know Rich would probably remember that because I think he was in New York about the time that song was jumping off, which was about 87, 88. Rich, was you in New York in 87, 88? Because if you went to the club back then, you would have heard Do It Properly. I'm not going to play it on this joint because it's crazy. Addictive personality, yep. Adult money, not so much. I started a new business making candy. Wow. And all my extra money is going there now, but 3D printing is less expensive than buying for my booth. Oh, I want to know what kind of candy you make, and does it have any substances in it? Does it have any organic material in said candy? That's what I want to know. Because my
It's got
shirt
pure cane sugar
says
in it.
you're on mute. This is about to become a classic. I just figured out what I'm going to do with all of my old ECAMM shirts. I don't have a space for the new ones. I have hundreds at this point. It's been many years of merch, everything. So I'm going to take all of my old ECAMM shirts and I'm going to send them to the North Shore because all these people got their houses blown up. Ain't nobody got clothes. So I was cleaning out my closet yesterday. I got a whole stack of clothes to send to the people that got flooded out. And I'm going through closet day. I'm going through the back room today. I'm finding all kind of things that I can donate. And then I'm about to leave, so I don't have time to drive to the North Store. So yesterday, I I made a post. I should just double check and see if anybody answered me. I made a post to see if anybody from this side was going to drive up there, so I can just give it to them so they can take it up there because I'm leaving. I don't have time to go myself. But yeah, it seems funny. Hawaii, the North Shore is, let's call it 28 miles away. It takes 2 hours to get there. Oh, good. My niece is gangster. She just sent me the answer, and I know the people that actually run that place. Hold, let me answer her real quick. Hello, niece. Thank you for this. I actually know the guy that runs the AV department because he used to work with me at Apple, and their location is actually in our old store, which used to be Video Life. So I know exactly what you're talking about. I should have thought about that. Thank you for that. Love you. Bye. Whisperflow, Rich, is my life. I was using something else, and Rich was like, "Hey, pimp, you should use Whisperflow." And I was like, "Whatever, Rich. You don't know what you're talking about. Super Whispers, gangster." And then one day, I said, doot, 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 doot. "Hey, Rich, what's the link for your affiliate link for Whisperflow?" And he was like, "Haha, told you, asshole." He sent me the link, whisperflow.com/rich or whatever the heck it was. And then I signed up, and like 2 minutes in, I was like, F this trial. Let me just convert this to the real deal. And I've been addicted ever since, bro. Whisperflow is everything and everything. I'm going to tell you guys about a little project that I do that you can do yourself. You don't need any kind of special home training. Let me send this to my niece, and I'm going to tell you how Whisperflow has made life easier. Okay, so here's my thing. You make your own. Don't copy mine. Make your own. Whisperflow, 3 times a day, I do a verbal brain dump. Once in the morning before I come down here. Once right before or right after lunch, depending on how hungry I am or if my DoorDash credit's going to expire. And then once right before I go to bed. There you go. Rich got it. See, I had it halfway right, Rich. Why you got to play? Right? It is whisperflow.ai/rich. Rich30. Okay, do that. Trust me. Whisperflow is everything. I won't even give you my affiliate code. I want you to have Rich's one because I didn't listen to Rich. I was being a smart ass. And then later I had to tuck my tail under like my dog Osaka and be like, "Hey, Rich, man, what's that link?" Again. It is a life effing changer. Okay, so 3 times a day, I do a verbal brain dump into Whisperflow. I have that automatically sent through a Notion setup. I have a button on my phone. There's a button on my phone right there. It's a gigantic button. And when I hit that, it opens up a new Notion document right ready to Whisperflow into. So I just say whatever is in my head. Right? Rich said the affiliate program gives you a free month. It's not that great a program. I beg to differ there, my fellow brother. I ain't paid for Whisperflow in about 8 months. Whenever I turned it on from you, I paid 1 month. I haven't paid since because I keep getting free months because everybody once they get it, they get it. So yeah, that's what's good about it. I leave them in a Notion document and I just let them be. I don't bother them. They just stack up in the database. They're just all my brains. But then on Sunday, I run a prompt that basically distills everything that was circulating through my brain and through the week. And what it generates for me is... I'm laughing at Rich. What it generates for me is these are the shit you was thinking about. This is what you were tripping on. These are tasks that you said you were going to do, reconcile them, find out where you're at. And these are tasks you need to do. These are things you need to buy. These are things you bet not buy. Like basically that's what I set mine up for. So it gives me like a sentiment thing. And then it tells me, based off of what I was saying, a little tiny psychoanalysis of how I had that week. So tomorrow when I run the thing, it'd be like, this week was a good week. You did not cuss out Paul one time the entire week. Katie, on the other hand, sorry, don't repeat that. So yes, it's really cool. And I highly suggest you do this because here's what you get out of doing this. You could take all of your voice memos And as long as you don't get to privacy with them, just think about how you're gonna do it. I keep mine very, man, god damn it. Sorry guys. Paul is in California. I'm in Honolulu. On the teleprompter, there's Paul. So in the little tiny corner of the teleprompter, there's an image of me. I'm minding my business. As I'm explaining this to y'all, for some stupid reason, I'm looking at myself, probably because I'm cute. But then Maestro decided to walk past Paul, and that jump was because I thought it was walking past me. But it's Paul's cat. And it just, I might have peed a little bit. I got to go to the bathroom after this. I don't know why that scared me, because I ain't even afraid of cats. But it was just not expecting something behind me to be moving. It wasn't moving behind me. It's moving behind Paul. And holy crap, Maestro, you asshole. God damn it, that scared the shit out of me. Yo, this happens to me too, Rich. The only funny part is when you're talking to Whisper, she yells from the other room, "What are you talking about? What do you want? Who are you talking to?" Yes, this happens to me on a regular basis because I be having conversation with Whisper Flow, and then I get, "What? What you say? Why are you bothering me? I'm busy." I'm like, "I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Whisper Flow." Who that is? This is true. Also, I'm walking around now, Rich, which is why I can't wait to get my orange melon cans in. I'm walking around with my AirPods in, and this I got from Alec Johnson, a.k.a. Pumpkin. I do my laps in the morning, and I'm walking around in the street, and I'm having a full-ass conversation with my Whisper Flow, and then people walk by, and they look at me like, and occasionally somebody will be like, "Huh?" And I'm like, I just point like I'm on the phone. But I'll be having I'm walking outside with the AirPods, and the current AirPods Pro 3, it's okay except for when it's super windy outside. I get gobbledygook, so I have to go somewhere, hide in the cut, and then just, ice cream sandwich the phone and then be like this. But under normal circumstances, the mic is so good, it works. I will tell you I had one problem, and one problem only. When I Whisper Flow from this, it misses, you guys have seen me do this live. It misses the first couple of words because by the time the button press kicks off the Rodecaster Pro, it's a little bit slow. So what I've done is right up here, which you guys can't see off camera, I put in the Rode NTG, and it's just pointing down at my face. How low can you go? Death row. What a brother know. It's right there. It's just out of frame. And so now when I press that button, because Whisper Flow will pick a different mic, it doesn't have to be the mic that you use. So if you happen to have an extra or AirPods or something of that nature, AirPods don't work as well as a regular mic. I just use a generic, well, it's not generic, this is a Rode because I don't have a generic shotgun mic, but I use a shotgun mic hanging in the ceiling that never moves, that's always on, and it's only attached to Whisper Flow. It doesn't work for the rest of my computer system. However, if I were to do this, you should see that the Rode NTG mic is active. It's just over there. So I could do my streams like this, but I just don't do that. That mic is only for Whisper Flow because it just doesn't sound as sexy as this one. This one sounds way sexier. So I use that mic up there. The Rode NTG is only attached to Whisper Flow. So if you do streams or whatever and you find that you're trying out Whisper Flow and your interface or equipment is bothersome, if you have another microphone that's less bothersome, including white headphones with the little speaker just hanging, I would set that as the microphone as opposed to your interface because there's a little bit of delay processing through the interface before Whisper Flow triggers. So actually, if you're on a notebook, the one that's built in, a laptop, I should use that word better. The one that's built into the laptop works perfectly fine. So if I was working on my laptop and I had my Rodecaster Pro, I would just set it to the internal mic. But internal mic on the Mac Studio don't exist. So that's why I had to use the Rode. But other than that, Whisper Flow is everything, everything, everything. It makes life easier. It understands when I'm dictating emails. It understands when I'm dictating iMessages. It can write code. If you go in the Claude Code and you say, hey, I'm doing this code thing and you know what you want to do, you could actually write the code. It understands code. It understands languages. It learns how to spell Kalaukaua and Kalaleane Ole and, Kamehameha properly. Yeah, gangster. On my MacBook Pro, I'm with Rich. On my MacBook Pro, the MacBook Pro mic works flawlessly, 100%. My iPhone mic works flawlessly. There's one trick with the iPhone that I hate, but it's not Whisperflow's fault. It's Apple's security situation. And now that they've doubled up the security because we are at war, you have to do this weird swipey thing that you didn't have to do a week ago. But I still don't care. It's still faster than me sitting there trying to type with my fat ass fingers. And if you happen to be one of those people that dashboard your phone, put Whisperflow on and just brain dump while you're driving. Girl, you know it's true. Oot, oot, ooh, I love you. All right. Bah. Paul, what are the things once you print your pieces to make your printer better? I assume that's what you're doing right now. Printing a poop bucket, printing a seal, things of that nature. What are you most looking forward to print? What was it that said, hey, I need this, other than me and Luis messing with you?
I want to work on some desk accessory stuff and just some things for organization. But I've printed a bunch of like inserts for desk, keeping the desk. Right now, my poop chute is a paper bag taped on the back, and it's working great.
From like a DoorDash paper bag.
A little lunch sack, a little brown paper sack, and I taped it on, and it's been holding steady. So
Paul said you're gonna make bigger keys for the piano. Here, this is small, yet one of the most substantial things I printed. And the only thing I haven't printed for it is the gasket because I don't want to play with TPU. So I'm going to just send it to you and then have you mail me the gasket. This one is solid. So this is from a generator. There's a generator called Bento Box.
Yeah.
And then you can generate things. And so it has the little flappy lids. And it opens up, and right now it's full of coins. But I put in M3 screws, so I ordered a bag of 250 M3 stainless steel screws for $7. And then now that holds it down. So these are like a little Pelican case. It is hard as a rock. I actually stood on it. Now I'm not as big as I was before, but I stood on it and it doesn't crush. The first bamboo accessories one I printed like yours, that one wasn't very strong. So I reprinted this one, and this one is absolute gangster. I also printed a Gridfinity version of the bamboo one you just made so that all my tools fit in there and they're all locked in the Gridfinity. Have you went down the Gridfinity rabbit hole?
Oh, not yet.
Don't. Let me just tell you, bro, don't. I've been printing Gridfinity shit for a month and a half straight right now. I have 3 more drawers to go. Oh my God. Once it's in there, it's gangster. Everything is nice and modular and it fits. It's all super sexy. But man, these come in handy though. Sorry, I got some keys in here. But these are just stackable bins. And so the rabbit hole you want to go down first while you're printing desk accessories is the parametric models. And the reason for that is at first you're going to get sent things like this that are just all a size. And it's like, well, that's a good size, but it ain't my size. So you want to find the parametric model versions of these because then you can size it appropriately, meaning you can make it taller, make it longer, even expand it to fit the whole bed. And then each successive one you print, they stack on top of each other. So these have a little nubbin on the top and a little puka on the bottom. Puka means hole in Hawaiian, sorry people. And it allows you to stack them. And so I made these for my desk upstairs. And I had crap all over the desk that's all neatly stacked into these little boxes. And I kept coming upstairs every day with another box. And Karen is like, where are you getting all of these boxes from? Never mind, I don't want to know. And I'm like, why not? And she says, well, all of the crap is finally off that table. I can see the wood again. Not like that, jerks. And she's like, just keep printing the milk crates, right? Yeah, see, look, Tish knows, listen. the printed mini milk crates. These are the guys. These are guys. I picked ones with a different design. I wish I found it earlier, but somebody made these with Japanese Kimiko. Are you familiar with Kimiko? Oh my God, it's prettier. So my ones upstairs I printed with Kimiko, and it just absolutely freaking gorgeous.
Yeah, I started
Sorry,
the
Kumiko is what I meant
toolbox.
to say. Huh?
I started the toolbox tray last evening, and it finished at mid 12:46 midnight. Or, yeah, 12:45 this morning, and I was talking to Val on the phone when it finished, and then I shifted over to the case. It's oh yeah, I like that.
It's
So I
Kumiko.
shifted to the case.
I say Kimiko, which is my friend. It's Kumiko. But yeah, it has to do with like a tassellator pattern, sort of built off the Arabic triangles. But yeah, it's really hard to do in woodworking. We used to sit here and make these things in the wood shop. They're a pain in the butt. But there's some really cool 3D print versions of it you can make. It's kind of like marquetry, I guess what they call it in the British world. And when you see these as doors, they are gorgeous. But you're talking thousands of dollars because it takes years to make these things, and you can 3D print all of this mess. That's not what I was trying to do.
I'm where
Never mind. He don't know what he's doing.
so it's printing now. It's doing okay. I actually had the wrong build plate on.
Oh, that happens. Did you buy a sticky plate?
Yes.
The black one? Super
Yeah.
good. And then I currently use a BQ. My favorite thing. Just go to Amazon. It'll come by Monday. There's nothing better than the BQ. This one is the Pro Glacier. Everything sticks to it. I haven't had a single print lift since I switched to BQ. Much better plate, $24. And you want the Glacier Pro, not the Frostbite. The Frostbite is for different materials.
And
Well,
then I also heard that there is a QR code that you can print to put on that so that the bamboo reads it.
it comes with the stickers. It's right there.
But bamboo doesn't read that one.
It don't?
No, my bamboo printer won't read it. So there's a thing that you have to print that is a code that you stick on it, and then the bamboo printer will recognize it.
Well, shucky darn. Well, my bamboo don't have a reader, so I
Yeah.
do it the hard way.
Yeah, this thing is mind blowing.
Oh, I am so gonna send you what Rich sent me. I'm not gonna put it on YouTube. I love you, Rich.
I did a search for something. I can't remember what I typed in, but I did a search the other day, and I discovered some things that I didn't know you could 3D print.
Ah, oh my god. Oh my god. Yo, this is funny. My partner at the wood shop, Rich, would go to your projects and like take the stain and make the little marks with the stain in your wood projects. So you gotta like sand it out or you gotta try to stain over it. And if you didn't notice it, because there's things that you could do to the wood that kind of tightens up the seal. So he would just paint sealant on the thing and you don't know it until you go to stain something and the stain don't go into that section and you see the pattern. And I'll be like, this ass. He used to take little post-it notes and just leave them everywhere or cut little stickers. And I would open my tool drawer to get out a bit and then it's in there. So there's a Netflix documentary and it was like who painted the whatevers. And it's about this kid that was his prank. And I swear, my friend had been doing this for years before that movie came out. I was like, dude, they made a documentary about you, but it's a true story in theory. I think it's a mockumentary, but yeah, this is funny. I'm going to text this today right now. I'm going to send this to Paul too. Rich said they did this just to piss off the neighbors. Yo, this is absolute freaking gold. This is absolute gold. All right, gang. I'm going to go make myself ready to go to class. So I give you a couple of seconds to throw in any last minute questions today while we harass Paul. about his new habit on top of his other habit. Oh my God, this is so,
Maestro, he's going to have to start working the streets.
yo, this is so funny. Oh, you know what? Listen, listen. I gotta say to Matthew, which super hilarious, Matt. While we were doing the stream, Matt said, if I had seen this dude who made this, the vertical link, right? So Matt sent me this, and Michelle texted this morning at 9:05 when I started the stream this exact same link, but I hadn't looked at the text messages because we was live. So it's funny that both you and Michelle sent me this. And what's funny is I have made something like this before using small rig parts, and this guy just did it with an app I recognize. So it's super funny. The picture on the front before you get there, like the thumbnail version, shows him holding a horizontal vertical rig, which is something that I have a video on my channel where I actually built this using small rig parts. And so, yeah, it's really funny that you guys send me the same thing. So I'll check this out when I go. But honestly, I just do it with Blackmagic Camera app. You go in here, and then I set the BMCC app to open gate, and I just shoot, and then I open in Final Cut, whichever project, it's ready to roll. But I'll go check out what this dude made. It might be worth it because I got a trip coming up, and yeah, if I anything to make life easier. But normally, all I do now, because I don't want to carry a bunch of crap, this is my setup. It goes with me everywhere. This thing is gold. You just take your little handle and you thwack it on there, and then I can be like, pick, 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 pick. If I need to do vertical, I can do that too. Pick, 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 pick. Dude, this thing right here, this has been gold. And the case, I don't like this case at all. But what's cool about the case is I got filters. And right now, this is a Black Pro Mist filter that I just put fingernails in, or fingerprints. And I have an ND version, and I have a CPL version. And it's just something about this. As much as I hate this case, this has been on my phone since when we go, Paul, September, when we first got the mask. This has been on my phone since September, and I absolutely love it, love it, love it. I cannot stand the actual case because it feels. I like cases that have a tactile, like kind of rubbery feeling to it, but the functionality of the being able to slap these lenses on there ain't nothing better. Ain't nobody love me better. This is so cool. And I never worry about sitting my phone down because I know my lenses ain't going to get scratched. So that's what I actually love about this. And it's just gold. It's just gold. I've even reached out to a couple of my favorite app manufacturers and be like, can you make it work with all the buttons on the Telson grip? Because the Telson grip is the best. Another thing which I'm going to put you on to real quick, super cheap. If you go to Ross, Dress for Less, if it's nearby you, every once in a while you go in there and you find some things you never expect to find. I was just in there. We were looking for some baskets for staging, right? When you're a realtor, you got to make the empty apartment look not empty because it makes people people walk into an empty space, they can't visualize why it would look nice with their stuff in it. So what a lot of realtors will do is put furniture in there to make it look, nice, like a model home. If you ever been to a model home, if you're shopping at a new, condominium or something. So we have a bunch of staging equipment, and the small person loves to stage a lot of her empty properties. So we go to Ross's every once in a while. We need a different type of lamp than the ones we got to go stage something, and you go to Ross because they're $5. And once the sale is over, you donate them or throw them away. If they're really nice, you keep them, right? Sometimes the new tenant or client or whatever the buyer, oh, can I keep these? Yep, part of the deal. Oh, how much for them? Not free. Take it. Because we probably spend $20 on it. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I'm in Ross's, and I'm always peep out the automotive section, or I peep out the kitchen section. I found these Shell gas station, stupid, Shell gas station glass cloth. Microfibers are microfibers, but they're not all microfibers. These ones are specifically formulated for glass. They have little ridges that help pick up the oil, and the other side is smoother to polish it out. I got a pack of 20 of these joints for $4.99. These have been the best things ever. It's crazy. I saw a version on Amazon for 26 bones, and I was in my cart and ready to buy because I hate dirty glasses. I hate dirty windows. You know, people who smoke and you would get in their car and you can't see out the window? I can't stand it. It's just a thing of mine. I had a friend, my friend's dad was like that, and I was like, yo, I want to see what he's going to hit before we hit it so we can brace ourselves. So, because, you know, back in the days, everybody's dad used to drink and drive. So I was always terrified that I can't see out the window. So it's a knee-jerk thing for me. But if you happen to find on Amazon or Ross's or maybe even Walmart, if you see Shell gasoline, you know they didn't really made this. But if you see Shell gasoline, glass cloths, these things are glorious. I mean, absolutely glorious. And then on my phone, there's normally a screen protector. I took the screen protector off because when I was in Japan, I happened to bump into a dude who was putting a diamond coating on the glass. He turned it into like a liquid. It's like you get ceramic coating for your car. He was basically creating that for the phone. And he put it on my phone, and it's the best. Like it hides fingerprints, and it makes scrubbing smoother. You know what I mean? When you're like playing a video game or something like that. And it's been on here since December. Just gorgeous. To this day, if you drop the water on, I just go like that. The phone is dry. Like water don't stick. Like there's no, like it's oleophobic, it's hydrophobic. Sounds like grease lightning. Hydromatic. Automatic. Grease lightning. Anyway, yeah, super cool. Anyway, let me go drink coffee and eat some food before we go. Dude, I always put Pro Mist filters on everything. There's one on this camera. Luis made this little dude so I could put it on my ObsBots. I have it on my S3. The ECAMM S3. You know, Luis made a filter that fits on that. So, yeah, I put Blackmagic Pro Mist on everything. Everything. Dude, you're telling me this flood is insane. It's absolutely insane. Let's see. Paul, you can't leave me huge comments like that. I can't read out loud.
It was only for your personal. That's why I didn't post it.
Okay. I'll read it after we get done. All right, gangster. Let's go. Thank you, fam. I'll see you guys in class. That's the wrong
Have
Paul.
fun.
Did damn Paul's pull the switcheroo when I wasn't looking at the screen? I looked up, there's a whole different Paul. What in the exact hell is going on here? All right, family. I will see you guys on Tuesday, and then I'm going.
You're not going to be on next Saturday, right?
Yeah, next Saturday I'll be in Seattle. So yeah, just next Saturday. Next Saturday, Paul and Paul will run the streams. Oh no, hell no, I don't trust y'all. They're like, everybody unsubscribe. This dude's an asshole. All right, family. Aloha.
City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down. City of mine, how I love the city of